It is then what's the day?
August 3rd,
It is
2025.
it's
It's August 3rd, 2025, Sunday. Today we will be conducting our first trucking interview with somebody that is nearest and dearest to us. Uh, he's one of those people that I like to call him one of the utmost professional truck drivers I've ever seen and that I had the pleasure of trucking with, wrenching with, and just having him as an all-out mentor. Uh, we had a list of people that we wanted to do this with, and when his name got brought up, he was completely
it's a no-brainer.
it was a no-brainer. So you guys stay tuned. I'm very excited for this interview today because he gets to tell you who he is, how he came up, his life in the trucking industry, and yeah.
Yeah, everything he said, just to piggyback, somebody's nearest and dearest in our hearts means a lot, taught us a lot, and we just happy we'll be able to share just a little bit of him with you guys. Uh, I know you guys might have noticed I'm on camera. I'm behind the camera today, so I figure I can. It's a little hot out here. He got ostrich skin on his boots.
I mean,
I'm outside for real. All right, Neil.
all right, Neil. All right. Who we all been waiting for. Our special guest has finally arrived. Danny Smith.
Going on?
Thank you, man.
Hey, man.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy week, busy day, busy weekend, however you want to call it.
No problem, man. Always a pleasure to fit something like this in.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
you know that. Anything for you.
I appreciate that. So, Danny, tell the people who you are.
Well, as bogus as it may sound, Danny Smith, been doing this truck thing since basically I could crawl, because it started with playing with trucks and has evolved into the real thing some 40 some years later. So started right here where we're sitting, and thankfully it's still going on today. So
Well, let's go ahead and expand just a little bit on what you just said.
okay.
So, when did you first realize this is what you were going to be doing for the rest of your life?
I first realized that right in this house that's behind us, behind this truck, because this is right here where I grew up, and it all started with playing with Tonka trucks, man.
Playing with Tonka trucks.
On the floor of that house right there. I knew it because that's what I was into, due to the fact that right out back, there was nothing but the real thing going on.
Nothing but the real thing. So around that time, what were the popular trucks that were around here back then?
Around that time, when I was looking out the back window, still playing with my toys and seeing what was going on, for the most part, the popular truck was everything related to what you see right behind us.
Right here.
Yeah. That was the popular truck of the era. That was the style. That was what was going on. That was what everybody had
Okay.
in one way, shape, or form.
Okay. Now, was this, so this is a Ford. Was this the type of truck that you learned to wrench on when you were coming up?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's what was out here. By the time I got of age to stop playing with the Tonkas and come out here and start messing around, that's all that was in this whole yard. It was full of them.
And what age was that around that they released you out here to the yard?
I got released to come outside and get dirty and tear up my clothes and every daggone thing else. I guess I was probably about 8 or 9.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was no going back. None. Still kept the toys, but it was out here full time, every chance I could get.
It was like a poison.
Completely. Like you said, when I was crawling, I knew that I was going to end up out here. And once I got out here, I knew it was full steam ahead for me. Right here in this line of work, like you said, starting off with the wrenches.
Wow. Now I'm assuming, what are you, 3rd or 4th generation?
I'm actually 3rd.
3rd. You're
Yeah.
the 3rd generation.
Yeah.
So as you came up, of course you came up with your dad. Would you say that your dad inspired you to truck?
For sure, 1,000%. I saw him doing it to the magnitude that I just didn't think one man could do that much stuff.
Really?
I didn't think it was possible for one man to not only drive trucks like that, but take them apart and put them back together. Didn't think it was possible. And I was looking at it, like I said, ever since I could look out the back window and see what was going on, this is what I saw. When I finally came out here in the yard and was touching this stuff, I still couldn't believe it. So yeah, that was my complete inspiration.
So taking trucks all the way apart, like what you said, you seen your dad out here doing that.
Sure did.
What type of jobs did you see happen right here on these millings?
For the most part, which I didn't know no better at the time, I didn't know about 3, 4, 5 bay shops and overhead cranes and all that. So I saw everything.
Yeah, because I don't see no shop out here. I don't see no shop out here, man. So the people might want to know how you out here slinging motors and transmissions.
And no concrete, no ceiling, no lighting, no heat in the wintertime. Nah, we had none of that. There was what you see here for the most part. It really hasn't changed. It really hasn't changed. We had one outlet over there on the side of that garage for electric.
Mm-hmm.
We had water. Other than that, what you see here right now is what everything got done with. In a little while, I'll take you over there, and on the side, there is a chain hoist over there that we use for lifting heavy stuff. That got built later, because when I was still in the house looking out the window, for the first couple of years that I was looking out the window, that I could see out the window, instead of a chain hoist, everything was being done off of a tree.
Off of a tree?
Off of a tree. I can show you where the tree was, right next to that garage. There was a big branch off of that tree, and that's where the chain hoist was slung from. And if I dig my photo albums out, I can show you a picture of one of these Detroit engines hanging on a chain on that tree.
Are you kidding me?
Thankfully, I got pictures to prove all this, but right there beside that little garage right there, there was a Detroit motor hanging on a chain that got pulled out of a truck, rebuilt, and put back in the truck right there from a tree. So, like I said, when we graduated to the chain hoist, well, then I felt like there wasn't nothing we could do. We was doing everything off of trees. I said, we got the chain hoist now, we're good. And as far as I'm concerned, until I left here, I was good. because I did everything.
Oh my God.
I did everything. And when I say everything, I mean, other than take a cab off here, we did everything. And later on, when we started messing around with some conventional trucks, we did do a couple R model Mac cabs here.
Really?
Yeah, we did. Just never took a cab over cab
No
off.
cab over cabs.
Right. Other than that, everything, all the components, motors, transmission, rears, backwards, frontwards, frame rails. We did frame rails here.
All out here.
All right where we're sitting right now with no different environment. No different environment whatsoever. This is where it all took place, man. This is where I learned 97% of everything that I got to do.
Now, that's through summer, spring, fall, and winter.
And winter. You got it. The trucks was here. Everybody worked out of here. My father, he had 3 or 4 guys parking here. For the most part, everybody did their maintenance here. When my time came and I ended up with my truck, I was here. Everything was done here year round. And not to mention, that was back in the day when it was tube type tires and we did all our tire repairs here, took them apart, passed them, put them back together, all that stuff. Right here, again, on this same gravel that you see right now. And it was a little worse back then because it was a lot of dirt here and we had mud puddles in a few places. So we had to watch all that. Oh yeah, but this was the environment right here.
Wow.
This was it.
Wow. So back then, well, let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
First truck. What was your first truck?
My first truck that I actually owned was a Cab Over International 74 4070B.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first truck that I owned.
And how old were you back then?
Oh, I was right there. I was right out of high school. I was 18.
18.
Mhm.
Now, did you ever have a articulated license?
Yes.
You had an articulated
Yeah.
license.
Yeah.
So you were there from the articulated license to CDL.
To the CDL. Yeah.
So you were grandfathered in.
Yeah, I had to do 1/2 of the CDL test when they came in with that in order to merge into that new program. I didn't have to take the full written test.
Okay.
No.
And back then, 18, international, what motor?
Well, I'm sure everybody else might know out there. If they don't, my roots started with a V8, and that's still where my roots are. 318 Detroit, that was one of the popular motors back then. A lot of guys were running them successfully, of course, again, because there wasn't too much else to choose from, and I wanted what I knew.
Right.
I wanted what I knew that if I needed to try to keep the thing running, I had a half-ass chance. It was Detroit, same as it is now, Detroit, Cat, and Cummins. Caterpillar, at that point, was really not on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It was a battle between Detroit and Cummins. And we hadn't had no Cummins in this yard. I wasn't opposed to them, but I knew what I was doing with a Detroit because so many of them were here. So my first truck was a Detroit.
So back then, there were no heavy hitters all the way back then. There was no 3406.
Correct. No, there was not. There
Now,
was
what
not.
about the famous 3408?
That had hit the scene.
Okay.
That had hit the scene. Again, it was not a motor that you would see around here. It was a motor that, when I started going to the pier, when I started going to other places, you would see somebody from another part of the country
From out
come
west.
in. Yeah, you would
From
see
out
somebody
west.
come in with one. Around here, honestly, you might have seen a guy might be 100 miles away up in Connecticut or something like that. He might have owned one. There wasn't really any in this area.
Really?
No, it was still bare bones Cummins or Detroit. That V8 Cat, it was a good one, but no, there was no big hitting engines at that time.
Right.
No, everybody were taking little engines and trying to ring them to death.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 18 years old, Cab Over International, 8 V92.
318.
318.
318.
And you running around here. Now, what did you haul?
Exactly what a lot of guys are trying to keep hauling right now. I was hauling out at a lot of the same places. I was hauling coils
Hauling coils.
right off the bat. They were so plentiful at that time. You could go work for anybody and haul coils wherever you wanted to. Haul a little bit of sheet, haul a little bit of pipe, but 90% coils off the pier.
90% coils, sheets, that's it.
Yeah, a little bit of pipe. We hauled some 20-foot pipe on a flatbed, but that was it. It was always steel. And like I said, 90% of what I did 5 days a week was coils.
And how was the trucking scene back then?
It was, as far as I'm concerned, great.
And what year was that around? So what are we trying to go back around? 84, 5? You graduated out of high school?
I came out in 3.
Okay.
Before I bought my own truck, I did drive a R model Mac for my dad for about 2.5 years. 2 years, just shy of 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and bought my own truck, that International, from a junkyard, put it on the street.
Now, how much did you pay for that International?
$4,000.
$4,000.
From a bona fide junkyard that is still in business today.
And you can go hit the key on that International right now.
Yeah.
And it'll fire right up.
Yeah. $4,000.
Wow. All these years later.
All these years later, all the repairs later that were done right here, motor swaps that were done right here, you name it. Yeah, all in that truck. All in that truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what is the difference that you see in the trucking industry or in the steel industry versus then versus now?
The difference that I see now is that at that point, it wasn't a thing whereas, rates were fantastic. The big issue then was steel was plentiful. You could do any kind of work that you wanted to do with steel if you wanted to run local. When I say local, I mean here to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to run from here to North Jersey, if you wanted to run from here to New York, any points that you wanted to do, steel made it possible.
Right.
The difference between then and now is that's not the case. That's not the case. I've seen so many companies disappear that the amount of points that you can cover now with steel have gotten really small, meaning you either got to pick a close area that you can go to now within 100 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, maybe 120 or 150 miles. No, it's either 100 miles or 350 miles now. That's the biggest difference that I've seen.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
You either got a little niche close to home, if that's what you want to do. Other than that, you got to hit the road. You got to go out and you're not coming back that night. You come back tomorrow night or the night after. Still loving hauling steel, but that's the biggest difference that I've seen since I started.
Wow.
Because when I started, man, there was so much that you had to almost hide from it. It was, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, you had no problem. You had a flatbed. You could do whatever you wanted to do, however you wanted to do it, as much or as little. That was it. That was it. And that's what interested, made me want to stay with the steel. It's how I started. It's what I loved. Flatbedding, tarping the loads, all part of the program. Loved it. Loved it.
Okay. So, a lot of people may not know, we come from a long line of iron haulers. We don't come from flatbedders. We don't come from steel haulers. We come from iron haulers. Now.
Nicely said, by the way. Nicely said.
Would you be able to explain the different three?
Yeah, because it was a transition point right when I got into it of seeing the differences that you're talking about. Like you said, you mentioned flatbedding. Well, I got my start with a regular flatbed trailer because that's what I got.
What type of trailer was that?
That was a 1967 35-foot through haul.
67. Wait, you started trucking?
That wasn't a blooper. That was not a blooper. Started in 85, pulling a 67 through haul. That was not a blooper. Just so y'all know. No word of lie. Yeah. A trailer that, looking back now, really shouldn't have been on the road. But it was an old steel trailer, and it did the job. 1967 through haul behind that International.
Are you kidding me? Covered wagon or open trailer?
Open trailer. Open trailer. Covered wagon had not hit the scene just yet. Covered wagon had not hit the scene, not just yet. It was getting ready right there, because like I said, 84, 85. It was getting ready, but it wasn't here full term yet. No. A couple guys had them, but it hadn't hit this area yet. Definitely hadn't hit this yard.
1967 flatbed through haul.
Through haul. 35-footer now. 35-footer. Picture that. 35-footer.
Flat out tandem.
Flat out spring ride tandem.
Oh, that was rough.
Oh, man. And we didn't know no better, because, mind you, at that point, all trailers were spring ride.
No airbag.
Nope. Nope. The only airbag anybody had back then basically was in a seat. I'm not kidding y'all. That, most of y'all will know, but I'm not kidding. Every truck in this yard, and at one point, we had close to 9 of them in here, different guys parking. There was no air ride, nothing. One guy who ended up being the second new truck to ever come in this yard.
And who was it?
That was Ron Holland.
Ron Holland.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He was the first guy, very first guy to come into this yard with a air ride truck and trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
And can you recall what year that was?
Exactly. It was 1979.
Air ride truck, air ride trailer.
Air ride trailer.
What type of trailer was it?
A Fruhoff.
Really?
A Fruhoff. That was a big steel hauling trailer back in the day. They did really well hauling steel. A lot of guys had them. And popular trailer. He bought one. He had a spring ride. He bought a brand new cab over double bunk 352 in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
And to celebrate buying the new truck, he bought a brand new Fruhoff to pull behind it. Parked it right over there where that van's at.
Really?
Prior to that, never been an air ride, nothing in this yard, with the exception of an old truck, like with a tag axle or something on the tractor.
Yeah.
Other than that, no air ride suspensions, nowhere. So me pulling that Fruhoff, spring ride tractor, spring ride trailer, that was completely
That was nothing.
it was completely normal. That's what everybody had. There was no such thing as air ride trailers.
So, when you used to ride in the truck with your dad when you were younger, what was the main truck he was driving around?
Well, he bought one of these Fords, brand new, in 72. Yeah. Prior to that, one of the trucks that I remember riding around in that I really loved, that I really miss, was a 67 GMC Cracker Box. That was the truck that I basically, between that and the Ford, I guess it was probably a toss-up which one I like riding in the most. That's where I spent most of my days with him in those two trucks.
So, you came up, your body was already set for spring ride trucks.
It sure was, yeah.
So, it was nothing to you.
No, those trucks didn't faze me. It didn't seem like anything was wrong with them.
And both of them had Detroits.
Oh, yeah.
So, body trained for springs, ear trained for Detroit.
Along with that right foot. Train for Detroit 100%. And it's like anything else, when you start training wheels on something, that usually never goes away.
And I just want to expand on what you just said. I wish everybody in this industry would be able to come up the way that me and you did. Sleeping in trucks, hearing RPMs in the middle of the night when your dad is up trucking, getting the feel of what it's supposed to feel like. All of those qualities right there makes for a good owner operator or a good driver, whatever. And I hate to say it, that's less and less anymore.
True.
But I mean, it's just it's sad is what it is, because the way I came up and the way you came up, it was fun.
Yeah. It was completely.
It was fun.
It was great.
You know, a lot of people, man, what do you mean you worked every summer? Oh man, we went to Disney World.
Yeah. That's all you hear now. Which is fine if you're planning on having a job as a job. If you're planning on just showing up to do something, looking at the clock the whole time to say, man, I can't wait to get off or get out of here. If that's what your mindset is, fine. We don't have that mindset.
Right.
First of all, we start off, we like what we do, we look forward to what we do, and we want to be good at what we do.
Exactly.
And that training that we got growing up, there's no college in the country that you can go to that'll better set you up for it.
Right. Right.
Nothing better. So everything you said was 100% right. That upbringing we got around this lifestyle that we wanted to dive into, man, like I said, you can't buy it anywhere.
Wow.
And that's what makes for somebody who shines when they come out here and does it.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, well, we got a little bit away from the first initial question. Steel hauling, iron hauling.
Okay. You're right.
When did that whole iron hauling scene come about in this area?
Glad you asked. You touched on it a minute ago. It was plain and simple because it didn't have anything to do with the trucks or the trailers, with the exception of the fact that when flatbeds turned into covered wagons.
That's what started it all.
That's what started it all.
And can you just explain for the viewers that don't know the difference from steel hauling and what I mean, well, what me and you mean by iron hauling?
Yeah, I can. That was something that I learned. Thankfully, I came up and came out at the right time to be able to witness this. Because again, I started with a flatbed. When I saw the sidekick come on the scene, at first I thought it was just, oh man, a better way to get around tarping. Because, everybody was a little tight-lipped about it at first.
Yeah.
But the more I got to paying attention, looking, listening, seeing that there were some other changes happening with the trucks other than just the boards going up on the trailer. I'm noticing some difference in tires. I'm noticing guys changing to some heavier duty springs on the trailers. I'm also noticing, instead of 2 axles on some trailers, some of them are coming around with 3. What's this all about? I thought it was just to avoid tarping.
Mm-hmm.
That was the transition. That transition came to this area from the West. This was something that a lot of guys were already doing out there.
Out there.
Yeah. Being that the mills and the steel industry needed trucks to be like that.
Yeah.
They needed trucks to be what I call efficient. They needed a truck to be able to haul as much as it possibly could per trip because they needed to steel that much.
They needed to steel there.
Period. It was just that simple. And the trend finally made its way over this way. It caught on. That's when steel hauling went to iron hauling. As soon as them boards went up, it took on a whole different meaning that I definitely approve of.
So, what would you consider yourself as? Steel hauler or iron hauler?
I consider myself somebody that started out hauling steel, but I would like to think that I might have graduated. You don't want to sign your own diploma, but I'd like to think so.
Now, did you ever run East and West?
A little bit.
Really?
Yeah, just enough to get a taste of what was going on out there. That wasn't my mainstream.
You didn't like running it?
No, it wasn't that. I was just not in the lane to be able to do it all the time.
Yeah.
I had no problem when I went out there. I enjoyed seeing and learning what them guys were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happened that the work kept me going from here north as being plentiful.
Okay.
I had no problem running
So
out
when you would run west, where would you go?
there. Usually all points around Youngstown.
Okay.
All points right there across the PA Ohio line. Everything that I would find would go there, and I would always find something coming back from that whole Youngstown area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just touched on running north from here.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your normal route that you would do?
It started with that international that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
The pier work, like I said, was just so plentiful that there were so many customers in this New Jersey, New York, New England corridor
Mm-hmm.
that I was running anywhere from here to New York City and up, even some out on Long Island. And like I said, there was just so much of it. And I could find that I could do a turn in a day. Usually, that was the only other thing about running west. I had no problem going out there, but you weren't turning that in a day.
No.
You weren't turning it. You could still make the same amount of money and all, but you weren't turning it. I could find I could turn all these northbound trips and be back the same day, usually in time, with luck, to get unloaded and reloaded for the next day.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up on the north-south thing, and it just stuck, man. It stuck for a long time.
So hourly in a day, when would your day typically start?
My day would typically start at midnight.
Midnight.
Yeah.
And what time would you usually get back to the yard, packed up, ready to go home?
On a regular day, if everything clicked off okay, 4:30, 5 o'clock.
That's a long day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. In order to turn around and be back in the seat at midnight again. But I would still rather do that, I guess, than call myself going out and not being able to get home that night.
Right.
But it is a long day. I got accustomed to it right out of the gate, and I guess that's why it didn't turn into a big thing for me. And I just stayed accustomed to it until now, from the start.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long day. I mean, in the wintertime, you figure you're leaving in the dark and you're getting home in the dark, because it starts getting dark at 3:30 in the afternoon in the winter. And boy, that was rough. That was rough. Running New England all the time in the wintertime.
So how many rounds did you do a week?
When things were jumping like they were supposed to do one every night.
5 rounds a week.
Yeah,
Starting Sunday night.
starting Sunday night. Yeah, yeah. And it wasn't a whole lot of miles per se, but you nailed it. It was a lot of hours.
Hours.
Yeah, it was a
You
lot of
talking
hours.
about going through New York.
Yeah, it was a lot of hours. And there was nothing you could do to speed it up. Nothing. You couldn't change, shortcut it. There was nothing you could do. That's just the amount of hours it took.
Between running New York, Connecticut.
Yeah, or any point, because at that point, I was running all points in New England. I just didn't. I stopped it when it was. They tried to talk me into going to Maine a couple of times, and I said nah. I said nah.
You didn't want to go see Bullwinkle?
I really didn't. I really didn't. I had no problem watching them on TV, man. They tried me a couple times, but no. Even in the summertime, I said, nah, that's all right.
So you did have limitations to where you wanted to go.
Yeah, I did, because I knew what worked for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I knew to stay in familiar territory.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with venturing out. But if you got to be concerned with not only where you're going, along with what's in the trailer, a lot of times you got to be careful with that.
Now what do you mean by in the trailer?
Well, again, once I joined the Sidekick Club, I did find out that one of the advantages of the sides, other than making it easier to tarp, was that a lot of times you could increase your paycheck on Friday. So once I found that out, I said, man, this is a good thing. I think I might want to stick with this.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found ways to stick with it, meaning the people that I work for went along with it, that was the only way to go. And again, running north, familiar territory. I knew where I was going. Always did my thing at night. you were able to go there and again take that whole what's in the trailer thing and put that in the back of your mind.
Right.
If you're going somewhere you ain't never been before, now you got a whole something else to consider.
Yeah.
Something may surprise you because you're going down a road that you may see a sign coming up there even in the middle of the night blinking that you don't want to see, that you really can't afford to see.
That says open.
You know it.
So you taught me how to drag race.
Just the finer points. You had the gist of it, yeah.
So this exact same international, that was your first truck.
Mhm.
That's your race truck now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you race.
Yeah.
So you would consider yourself a truck enthusiast.
Terribly.
Really?
Yeah. Detrimentally. Yeah. Yeah.
Antique trucks.
Oh man. Yeah, in the bones.
So how many trucks you got?
I think right now I count 8.
8.
I think I count 8. I could be wrong. If you're including the antiques, I think I'm at 8.
So right now we're standing in front of what? What is this?
Actually, this is the latest acquisition, I think they call that. This is the one that I got the most recently. This is a truck that just came to this yard probably, I don't know, no more than 6 months ago, something like that. This is a truck that I have been looking for ever since I started in this yard. I guess I'll have to say accurately, probably since 1972.
Really?
Even though I was still a kid, one of these trucks came into this yard new, which is the one my dad bought brand new in 72. And like I said, other than that GMC cracker box, there's something about that Ford that he bought that I said, I got to end up with one of them. I wanted the one that he had.
Yeah.
But things took its course and that truck ended up getting sold. And I said, that's all right, I'm going to try to find one somewhere. This truck here, because of what it is, because of what year it is, and of course what motor's in it, it had to come home when I found it. I had been looking for it for years.
And what year is this truck and what model is it?
This is a 77 and this truck is modeled WT9000.
All right, well, would you mind giving us a walk around tour of it?
Not at all.
And what else you got over here, your antiques?
Not at all.
Let's
Not
check
at
it
all.
out. So
All
this yard right here, you only have a few trucks here.
Correct.
You got more of your antiques and everything at the other yard.
Correct.
But this is the yard that represents who you are because this is where you grew up.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I like to keep a couple of them here. Yeah, because of the roots, because of where it all started. Some of these trucks are really fitting to be here, like this Ford, because like I said, that Ford came into this yard. That's where I got to know it. That's where I basically got to be crazy about it. So.
All right, well, let's take a look up underneath this cabin. You can explain to the people what we got underneath here.
Well, for some of you old heads out there, you might know a little bit about this. Being that, this truck is from that era. Like I said, it's a 77. And most of you guys might know, that's a Detroit in there, bona fide 318. The fantastic thing that I thought about this truck is that it's 100% original. Original motor, trans, rears. As far as I know, nothing's ever been taken apart on this truck. The odometer is actually showing 175,000 miles.
And it works.
And it works. It's cable, so it ain't broke, it works. With trucks like this old, you don't know if that story's true, but everything adds up. So when I found the truck, I had to have it because this was the exact components of the one my dad had. Other than the fact that this is a full screw and my dad's was a single axle that he ended up putting a tag on. Other than that, this is basically the identical truck. So for all you Detroit guys out there, you understand why I had to have this truck. Had to have it. And it's a turnkey situation. This isn't one that I had to put back together, make it run, put a transmission in it. It's a running, driving truck. So I've been waiting a long time for this one. Wasn't sure what was going to happen either.
And where'd you end up finding this truck at?
I ended up finding this truck online. I ended up finding it on Marketplace, and it was out just east of Columbus, Ohio.
Seemed like everything is out there.
It is for me. I ain't gonna lie. That's the truth. So many things, trucks, trailers, there's a trailer over there that we'll get to in a minute. Everything has come from the West for me, which is fine because I know that's truck country, but
Heavy truck country.
yeah.
That's where we need to be at, actually.
Actually, guys like us we're cut from the West cloth. There ain't no question about that. So, yeah, very happy to acquire this. Like I said, this is something that I hope to enjoy a whole lot, because just having it is enjoyable. Can't wait to really be able to take this thing out and shake it down, because like I said, I don't have to put it together.
You ain't gonna put no load on it, are you?
I try to put a load on everything I own at some point. Yeah. If for no reason other than to just drag it around.
Come on, man. Let the truck just ease on
Live
and
a good
retire.
life.
Take it up to McCungy. Take it to a few shows. That's all you gotta do. You ain't gotta go hook on to Bueller over there.
I plan on letting her live a good, leisurely life, but she gotta work for me just a little bit.
I'll tell you, we got here. Truck came over there and said to me, "Hey man, I see this 3-axle trailer over here, man. This guy kind of scared me."
Hey, it should be. It should be, because I'll hook it up to it in a minute.
So, you said this ain't the only thing you got from out west. What else in this yard did you get from out west?
That triaxle Benson over there come from out there.
Let's go over here and check that out.
That's another what you call bona fide steel hauling trailer.
Now, what is this, man? A lot of people don't know what a triaxle is for. You got a whole bunch of different applications. You got 3.9s, you got 3.10s, you got a triaxle, tandem with a pusher, Michigan trains. Why is this set up on this trailer like this?
The reason this setup, like you said, all those different configurations have a purpose. This particular setup, believe it or not, this trailer was owned by a company. Mm-hmm. This wasn't an owner-operator trailer.
Really?
This was a company trailer, and the reason why this trailer was set up the way it is because this trailer was the company was based out of Toledo, Ohio. Mm-hmm. They ran pretty much like a 250-mile radius around Toledo, which included going into Michigan.
Okay.
What a lot of people don't know from this area is when you go out there, anywhere from Ohio west, each state has different rules and regulations as far as what you can haul and how you can haul it.
Okay.
How you can register the truck to haul it. That doesn't exist over here. Out there, they will give you different regulations saying if you register your truck a certain way when you do your registration, mm-hmm. and you set your trailer up a certain way, you can haul X amount of pounds over and above the normal 80,000 that we're used to here as far as gross.
Right.
The reason why this trailer is set up like that is because the company was going into Michigan. Michigan said, if you want to haul, even if you want to haul 80,000 gross, you got to be on 6 axles. Michigan was not going for that. Michigan said, we'll let you haul above 80,000. You got to equip the truck or trailer to do it. So this company here, they knew that. So they ordered a whole fleet of these trailers, new. Mm-hmm. And that's how they were able to load the trailers with 50, 52, 54,000 to their customers. That's the way the loads were breaking. They were all hauling steel. And that was the only way they could go into Michigan hauling 52, 54,000 legally. And that was the way they did it. Again, you see these trailers around here and say, what's that all about? Yeah. What's that for? What purpose does that serve?
Exactly.
Well, around here where you're limited with how you can do your registrations, it may not serve any purpose other than safety.
Yeah.
Because you have more carrying capacity and more brakes.
Braking power.
But in areas where most of these trailers are born and live, they serve a specific purpose. A good purpose too. You figure when a trailer goes out to a customer, in these places, they used to get loads that would have 2, 3, 4 stops on them. So if they loaded the trailer with 42, 44,000, because the law said you can't haul no more weight,
yeah,
there could have been 2 or 3 more customers that they could have put on that trailer to take the load up to about 54,000, and you're delivering 2 extra customers per day.
Yep.
That's why they did it. Like I said, they truck way more efficiently out there.
Wow.
Way more efficiently. That's why that trailer was set up like that. And excellent trailer, other than for jacking in the tight spots in the city. Great trailer for doing more with it.
Yeah.
Period. So when I saw the opportunity to get it, like I said, I knew it was a trailer I wasn't going to use for the city, but that's why I grabbed it. That's why I grabbed it.
And what year is this trailer?
This trailer's a 99.
99?
Yeah.
Is it 45, 96?
Yes, it is.
45, 96.
Yes, it is. That's kind of obsolete now, but those are a couple of my favorite numbers.
And since you've had this trailer, where have you taken this trailer to?
Oh, this trailer has only been to basically most of my stomping grounds. This trailer has basically been north and south since I've had it.
Okay.
I have hauled nothing but steel in it. It's set up to haul steel, got the right tie downs, everything, got the right suspension under it. That's all I've done with it, and it has performed well. I don't have a lot of miles on the trailer myself, but it's a good steel hauling trailer.
All right. Well, let's go over here and go ahead and check out the GMC and the old International, what we got over there.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. Now, Danny, we're over here in another historic era.
Yeah.
Now, what do we have here?
Oh man, just a couple of trucks from days gone by. Period. That's a 64 International Emeryville.
60. What year were you born?
65.
Whoo!
So that tells you a little something.
Whoo! And when did you obtain this truck?
We've had this truck now probably for about 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And where'd you get the truck from?
Actually, it came right down from, I guess you would call it Belmar, New Jersey, probably, 8-10 miles from here, right off of 295.
And what's the gear train like on this?
Ah, well, there isn't too much that's allowed in this yard that that can't be Detroit diesel. So, of course, it's got a 318 in it, 10-speed Road Ranger, single axle 411 rear with a tag.
Yeah, I see right here. We got an airbag over here.
Yeah, we got an airbag. That's about as far as you got or as fancy as you got back then. That's it. That's it. As you can see, this is also an aluminum frame truck that's rare as I don't know what. You don't hardly ever see that.
I was going to say to go ahead and zoom in on that flange and see that it's 1/2 inch.
That's an aluminum frame. Weren't too popular. Some guys loved them because it made the truck light. Other guys hated them because that aluminum was known for cracking. So they were not popular. We got the truck because it was unique. I say we because me and my brother went in on this truck, and not long, I shouldn't say that, it took a little while, but he went somewhere one day to a truck show and showed somebody a picture of the truck, and they made him an offer he couldn't refuse, so he made a deal on the truck. The guy just hasn't come and picked it up yet.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The guy said, man, I gotta have it. Gotta have it. So,
well, what's his number?
um,
Might have to call him and put in my offer.
we can do that because it's still here.
And right here is another truck
Yeah. From days gone by.
from days gone by. This is actually a truck personally that I've seen race at Englishtown
Yeah.
and Atco
And Maple Grove.
and Maple Grove for a lot of years.
That's true. That's true.
A lot of years.
That's
And
true.
let's touch base on that.
Well, it's a 79 White Road Commander. The unique thing about this truck is how I acquired it. I was doing a lot of work at a Bethlehem steel mill in Baltimore. And I got to talking to a guy down there one day, and I think I might have been driving my cab over. He started saying that he knew where there was a cab over for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I'm probably not interested in it unless it's got a Detroit in it. And he said, well, man, this might be your lucky day. I said, man, well, do tell, talk some more. So he told me about it. And like I said, the reason why it's unique, one, It's a white Road Commander. You don't see them nowhere. See them at some of the truck shows out west. They are a unique truck, but I've never seen one with a Detroit in it. And this truck, the guy who told me about it, he was a trucker / farmer. This truck was sitting on his farm because the original owner had retired and basically let this guy inherit the truck.
Really?
He had bought the truck brand new.
Oh, so this truck don't have that many miles on it.
No, it does not. No, it does not. No.
Wow.
No, and this is a big one, so-called. This is a 8V92, 430 horse, 13 speed. And back then, in 79, which was unheard of, had 370 rears.
Really?
Yeah, there was no such thing as that. Everything was 411, 433, 444. And this has got 370s in it. So this truck was known for having a little bit of a reputation back in the day.
And it definitely does.
You know what I mean?
Because what would she put down in a quarter mile?
I think this truck was running 17s.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he had got it down into 17s in the quarter, just the way it sits.
Any fuel pump or injector work done on this thing?
Well, let's just say that I seen a couple of boxes in there by the seat where he might have put some hot spark plugs in it. I saw the empty boxes, so yeah, he warmed it up a little bit, and boy, did it wake up. And that's all he's done. That was it. Truck didn't need anything. Again, he put exhaust on it, and we took it out, and we had a lot of fun with it. Motor still runs good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still runs good.
I know it do.
Still runs good. You've seen it, but like I said, when do you usually see one of these, other than a totally restored one, and with a Detroit in it? So a lot of guys may.
Original.
Yeah, completely.
Original.
Some people call that a curse. I call it a blessing. So, like I said, hard to get into this yard if it ain't Detroit. That's for damn sure.
I see something that we were talking about earlier in the video.
Yeah, you might see it over there.
That old chain hoist.
Yeah.
We might want to go ahead and take a squabble over there.
I think you need to look at this. Because me and this chain hoist have got along very well over the years. And do not let the looks fool you.
Wait, hold on. Danny,
Do not let that bent pole fool you.
what happened here?
I can tell you what happened there. We won't get into no names right now because the gentleman's not here to defend himself, but there's a guy over there that was parking here years ago. He left, and now he's back parking here again with that burgundy Kenworth over there. He backed into that one night with a load on.
Yeah.
And the reason why it did that is because the trailer hit it here, and his tire hit it here, holding it still.
So he could back into it.
Exactly.
So did y'all make this?
Yeah, we made it right here. This used to be wood.
This?
This used to be wood. It used to be all wood, and it stayed here so long, and we did so many motors with it that the wood got rotten, and we had to remake it out of steel.
Are you kidding me?
When I tell you that this has been here,
You hung a motor off of this?
not a motor. I lost count on how many. I lost count. This hoist has been here almost as long as I've been alive.
So let me get this straight.
And it got down here.
Hood off, radiator out, air out. What, would you wheel the truck up to the motor?
Absolutely. Or you go over there and grab one leg, I grab another leg, and it would go from here to over there, wherever it had to go.
Danny, this quarter-inch steel.
And brother, it got drug all over this yard. All over the yard, just like that.
Are you kidding me?
This is what I swapped the motor in my International with, right here in the middle of the yard. And you're right, because that was a job I did by myself
Yeah.
in a cab over. So with this being stationary, how the hell do you do that? Well, I had it in the middle of the yard, and I had it set up so that when I put the motor up, I hooked the pickup truck to the front of the truck, pulled the truck out from underneath the motor. Let the motor down, did all the swapping I needed to do. When it was time, pulled the pickup around the back side of the truck, lift the motor up in there, and pull the truck back up underneath of it, up underneath the motor. Right here. Right here in this yard with this. Nothing else. Not an air tool, nothing.
No air tools.
No. Oh, no. No air tools at all. The only thing we had, and this was later on, we had an electric half-inch drive impact gun that we used to run an extension cord from the garage with. But we couldn't use it that much because back then, they hadn't come out with impact sockets yet. So most of the time, if you put a gray socket on it and leaned on it for a second, you'd shatter the socket. So we didn't even use that much.
Are you kidding me?
So it was El Manuel for just about everything. Motor mounts, everything, manual. There was no air here. There was no
Now-
air. There was no air.
Now, me and you then stretched multiple trucks together at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Were you stretching in this yard too?
Absolutely.
Look at the ground.
Look at it and look up. There's no walls. There's no electric sockets. There's no magnet drill. No, man. None of that.
No magnetic drill.
No.
What do you mean?
You know what an extension cord is, right? You know what a handheld half-inch drive drill is, right?
Yeah.
Well, back then, they made half-inch drive drills with not only a handle with the trigger to light the drill up, but they used to screw another handle in the other side so you could hold it like this. So when it tried to turn, you could actually hold on to it. When you had to drill holes in the frame, that's what you drilled with.
Are you kidding me?
All the way down the side.
With a handheld
With
drill.
a handheld drill. And I've done it so many times, I can't even tell you. Right over there. Right where that Ford is parked. The frame broke on that International one day when I left here with a load of pipe. I got right down to the end of the street, hit the brake, and it opened up. Right there in front of where that step is on
Right
the
in front
frame.
of the front hanger.
The bottom of it opened up, boom, and the truck went down.
What'd it say?
She went boom.
Yeah.
Just like that. And I stopped. I said, oh man, I know something bad happened. I jumped out and looked, and she's opened up. Had a load of pipe on I was gonna go deliver. I put it in reverse. I backed up the
Now, on that International, that has the tapered frame.
It did, but it was back there just in front of the wheels.
Where it was normal
Where
frame.
it was normal
Okay,
frame.
okay.
Yeah, right there.
Jeez.
Right there. She opened up. I backed into the yard. I backed into this slot right here, dropped the trailer, put the truck over there right where the Ford is now.
Yeah.
Got my boards out, jacked the frame up, jacked it back together, got the daggone drill out and started drilling.
Put a fish plate in.
Put a fish plate in it. Drilled all them holes with a plug in the wall, half-inch drive, handheld drill. Mind you, back then, them drills was damn near made out of steel. You could hardly hold them up there with that heavy, and you couldn't kill them. But you holding it by hand, and you had to make sure that you were holding it straight, because how else you gonna go in straight?
Yeah.
There was no guide on
How
that.
many times you done broke your wrist?
Oh, man. I done sprained it more times than I can count, because you know what happens. You get 3/4 of the way through a hole, and you know right where it gets ready to go through, that's when she wants to lock up on you.
Yeah.
I had gotten so good at it at the end, scared of hurting my wrist, that when I was getting ready to go almost through a hole, I would put my wrist into a point of like locking it,
Yeah.
and I could actually stall that drill out. So when it would lock up, the motor would just stop, because usually that's when it would twist and tear my wrist up. I had done it so many times and hurt my wrist so many times that not no more. Not no more, and I figured out how to stall the drill out.
Wow.
But that was all you could do here. In this facility, with what was going on, that was all we had, and we made it work.
So with that being said, you've seen how fast we can stretch a truck.
Oh.
What was the time process like of stretching the truck back in the day?
Well, believe it or not, it actually wasn't too bad. Of course, the drilling was a nightmare. We didn't do no grind cut. We cut everything with a torch, and then we ground it down smooth.
Okay.
Of course, that was an extra step. It wasn't too bad. In order to do a truck like we do it now, in the amount of days that we do it now, then it would take you 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
It would take you 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, it would take you 2 weeks.
Ooh.
It would take you 2 weeks. Slow walking it down, it would take you 2 weeks.
Versus what we do a truck now.
Oh my God. Over the weekend? You know, this guy, man, somebody can go to the drive-thru and get a Happy Meal, man, and by the time they're done eating, this guy, come pick it up. This guy here ain't no joke, man. He really ain't.
Well,
I done worked with him, he ain't.
Well, now I want to go ahead and take a look at what we call Beulah.
For a reason.
And your very iconic truck that is known in this Northeast corridor, I would like to think by everybody.
Well, probably.
Because it's one of one.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's one of one.
That I gotta
This is
say.
still the truck that you run every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad to say that I have drove the truck. And it is definitely a rock solid truck.
I have to agree with you on that. I appreciate you saying that. It's not because I own the truck. I guess I've just been lucky. I started with something good. Thanks to my boy Bill Vaccaro down there in the produce junction down there in South Jersey, I ended up with a spectacular truck, man.
Let's go over here and check it out.
All right.
So, Danny, we have here, this is the truck that you run every goddamn day.
For the last 25 years.
Me personally, this is one of my most favorite units ever.
I appreciate that, man.
And a lot of people never got to see this truck because majority of your running was always at night.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 80% of it. Yes.
So let's go ahead and do a walk around of exactly what this truck is, year, make, model, transmission, all of that stuff, and how you obtain the truck. Let's start there first.
Okay. The truck is a 1995 379 extended hood, flat top. It's all factory. Truck's got the original 3406C. I did upgrade the transmission. It had what I call a single overdrive 13-speed from the factory. I did upgrade it to a Super 13 with the taller overdrive, 355 Eaton rears on air leaf suspension. This was what the produce guys ordered down in South Jersey, if anybody's familiar with them. This was their favorite spec during this year. They did upgrade a couple things as they got newer trucks, but this spec was right up my alley when I came to be looking for trucks, and I specifically bought and wanted this truck because of that 3406 mechanical motor.
Really?
Specifically. Yeah. At the time, there was going to be another one of these trucks up for sale. I think he was running 6 or 7 of them at the time, and he would only keep them for 5 years, trade them in. Could not afford to have any major breakdowns hauling the produce. That was right up my alley. In 5 years, that made the truck kind of affordable, and I thought, well, still got to have some life left in it. I got completely lucky with this truck because not only was it the spec that I wanted, but for Caro produce hauler down in South Jersey, he did me a real solid on this truck because I went down and made a deal with him tentatively about 6 months before he was ready to trade it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came time for me to get the truck 6 months later, probably about 40 or 45 days before the truck was set to be traded in, the motor went up in it.
Really?
So he was still using the truck at the time. He knew that he basically had a deal with me to sell the truck. So he said, well, man, what am I going to do? Call Danny and tell him no deal, the truck's blowed up and take it to the junkyard? He ended up spending $21,000 for a new motor, put it in the truck, a new long block from Giles and Ransom when they were down in South Jersey. They're not there no more. Put that in the truck. A month and a half later, he sold it to me for the same price that he quoted me with the old motor.
Really?
Never changed the thing. The motor still had warranty on it. And we're talking about a 6-year-old truck now. Sold it to me, gave me the paperwork that said the motor still had warranty on it. Big props to Bill Vaccaro, man. Straight up guy. That's how I acquired this truck. And it has been nothing but a great truck ever since.
And what year did you get this truck?
I bought this truck in 2000.
In 2000?
Yeah.
So you got it, it was 6 years old, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Had it ever since. And it just been, it hasn't been, I haven't had a truck that perform any better than this one out of the ones that I've had, with the exception of the other truck that I got from Bill Vaccaro that we'll be covering.
We gonna keep that out today.
Yeah.
Because we gonna do another video with that.
Okay.
So all since you had this truck, what all have you done? Your upgrades. What all have you done here?
To be honest with you, not much. I bought the truck. It was in the condition that I wanted. All I wanted to do was maintain it. Like I said, it was a little gear bound with that single overdrive 13 speed.
Mm-hmm.
She was running a little high on the RPMs at cruising speed. So I did upgrade the transmission.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, upgraded the clutch and everything. The only other that I want to consider major upgrades, the truck came with ball and seat aluminum wheels on it from the factory.
Really? In 95?
In 95, yeah, that's exactly where I was. I couldn't believe it. But, Bill Vaccaro, he didn't change much from year to year. When he would order a truck the next year, he would just call Peterbilt and say, hey, I need a new one. Last year's specs, just build me another one.
All right.
So in the early 90s, when everybody got away from them ball and seat, he wasn't changing anything. So I ended up with a 95 truck with ball and seat wheels on it, which I wasn't really crazy about.
Yeah.
So I ended up changing all them, put hub pilots all the way around. Other than recently, I really haven't upgraded the truck at all. It didn't really need anything.
Didn't need anything.
I've only replaced what it needed. I have done motor work. Haven't upgraded anything. It's still a 4 1/4. That's it. Put kingpins in it. Bushed the back end a couple of times. And like I said, up until recently, when I did a frame extension back there, the truck hasn't needed anything other than the normal stuff.
Yeah.
AC compressor, regular motor compressor, just the normal stuff. No major upgrades because I like the truck the way that it is.
And this is the main thing I love about this truck, that it's original.
Completely. Yeah, I haven't altered anything.
It is period correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
No air ride front end.
Right.
No straight pipes. No half-inch. Period correct.
Period. That's the way it was spec'd, basically, is the way that it is right now. That's the way that it is right now. And I know a lot of guys don't go for that, but, since I'm an antique guy, like I said, I was hyped up about the truck the way it was when I got it. So there wasn't really anything that I really wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's an original as almost it could possibly be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you just said a frame extension.
Yeah. Yeah, and that really wasn't on the planner either. Because, the truck was already 270 wheelbase from the factory.
Yeah.
And with all the stuff I was doing, all the different places that I was going, hauling steel, a lot of them steel houses are tight, small, old-fashioned, and outdated.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with that because I was always driving a cab over truck. When I got this, I thought I was going to be in trouble in a lot of them places. Thank God I found out, at least in these years, 379 has an awesome turning radius.
Yeah.
So I was able to keep going to all my customers thanks to that good old 45-foot trailer back there and the way it's set up. So consequently, I was doing a grease job. I guess we're into the second year now ago
Yeah.
that I did this frame extension. I was doing a grease job back there, just planning on doing just a grease job.
Mm-hmm.
Truck's doing fine. Long story short, I found a couple of bolts had broke on the fifth wheel table. Come to find out, I was building up rust between the frame and the fifth wheel table.
Mm-hmm.
I took the table off to clean the rust out from under there because I didn't want a frame problem. Once I got the table off, I saw, well, I never really was interested in stretching this truck at 270. I went back and forth. The fifth wheel's off. Do I put it back on? Do I take it off? So I flipped a coin. Heads, I stretch it. Tails, I put the fifth wheel plate back on and keep going. Well, I flipped it and it was heads. So the next day I got the grinder out.
And I actually don't recall from when we stretched the truck. What did we stretch it out to?
Oh, that's another interesting story. Just with a short play on numbers here right quick. Because again, I love the way the truck performed, meaning how it handled, how it danced into these tight spots. I didn't want to do away with that. Of course, I like the look of a little longer frame, so that's why, when the coin went heads, I said I'm going to do it. But I knew I could only go so far because literally some of the places that I go, if you're too long, it just won't fit, period. There's cars parked on the corner. You can say what you want. I know there's some damn good drivers out there, but if you have a truck that's too long, you're not getting in there, and I didn't want to cut off any of my customers.
Yeah.
So I came to a quick equation. If I'm going to go through all this trouble to stretch it, well, you ain't going to stretch it, go through all that work for 6 inches.
Yeah.
So the truck was 270, on the paperwork 265. So I said, if I go 30 inches, that'll put it at 295, right? I didn't want that first number to start with a 3. Didn't want that. I was avoiding that like the plague. Everybody usually shoots for that. I was trying to stay away from that. I was just going for a look. Like I said, I wasn't going for a number. Well, the reason why the story is interesting is because I'm thinking 265.
Yeah.
30 inches, 295. Man, I like the way that number rolls off the tongue. That's a good number. I think I'll still have a truck that handles. All right. Me and my good friend, Mr. Blackshear, we get to thrashing, and everything goes according to clockwork. We're all done. We get ready to back the truck out of the garage, and he says to me, hey, I think you got a little bit more here. I said, what are you talking about? He says, I think you're over that number. I said, no. I know what I measured. I know what section I put in there. I know what the truck was when I started. He said, I know what you said. And I trust what you said, but I think you got a little bit more here. I said, well, I'm going to have to say in tape measure, we trust.
Yeah.
Well, that quick, I hadn't got the words out of my mouth, and he had the tape measure in his hand. And lo and behold, my 295 turned into 299.
Yep. That's
And-
exactly what it was.
And I looked at him and I said, man, how did you know that? And that was bugging me so bad that I had blundered that. Because I said, I know what the truck is. I know what the section is that I put in this truck. And like I said, that got me too close to that number 3. So I went home that night after you pulled that tape measure out, and I looked at my build sheet. And here all these years, I'm running around with this truck thinking that it was 265 wheelbase. On the build sheet, it said right on there, 269. So 269 plus 30 is 299, which is where you ended up.
Yep.
So that's where we're at right now. A 295 turned into 299, but I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I'm all right with that.
So you want to check the inside of this thing out? Because it's right. It takes you right back to 95.
That it might. That it might.
Danny, tell me about this phone.
Well, like you said, in 95, 96, 97, the handheld cell phones wasn't the rave, but with this guy having this high dollar produce that he was hauling with this truck, he needed to know where his loads were at all times. So as soon as these trucks were ordered new, before he even took delivery of them, along with a CB radio, they had mobile cell phones installed right at the factory, right at the dealership.
Haven't touched nothing inside of this truck.
Literally, no. No. Nothing is any different than when I got it.
Wow.
Nothing's any different. The only thing I will say that I did upgrade is it had a standard steering column in it, and I put a tilt steering column in it. Other than that, nothing's been changed.
I mean, with how low you got the seat, you got to tilt the wheel down.
Well, yeah, that's what I ended up having. I found that out the hard way because I put the seat like that with the standard wheel, and that wasn't working. That was not working. That was not working. So I had to put the tilt column in there. Other than that, no. Every single thing in that interior is exactly how I got it in 95.
Wow. You did a good job with this truck, Danny.
I'd like to think so, and I'd also like to think that the truck has done an excellent job for me. I can't say nothing. You know, I never really made it all that easy on the truck. I took care of it mechanically, but, you know, running New England's hard on the truck.
Hard.
Between the terrain, everybody knows what New England roads are all about, and I was going up there all year round with that salt, and the truck did hold up really good.
12 months out of the year.
Yeah, I was going up there all year long, no matter what was going on. I was there.
Wow.
I was there. So for a 1995, I can't say nothing. And everything on it, again, knock on wood, is original.
Wow. All right, well,
Everything.
Let's go ahead and transition on over to this trailer.
Yeah.
This specific trailer.
I like to say the best for last.
What year is this trailer and how did it start out?
This trailer is a 1997.
Same year I was born. All right now.
I guess that explains a lot. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, then that's half the story told right there. As a 1997, what they call the East Combo, half steel, half aluminum. It's 45 foot long, 96 wide. And I can tell anybody who will listen, you know, for a trailer being a 1997, this is by far the best trailer that I've ever owned. And I wouldn't hesitate to put it up against just about anything that's out here today.
Anything.
Just about. Just about.
So when you got this trailer, did it have the covered wagon on it?
As a matter of fact, yes, it did.
Really?
Yeah.
And where did this trailer come from?
Oh, our favorite state, Ohio. Canton, Ohio.
And it came from Ohio. What was the axle setup back there?
Well, as you can see, it does have one more axle than the average trailer. It was not like that. It was set up exactly like that Benson that we looked like earlier. It was set up just like that. Yeah. 310 spread.
310s.
310s.
Really?
Yeah.
So clearly, as you walk back here, you did some
Alterations? Because it ain't 310s no more.
major modifications.
It ain't 310s no more. No.
You know, me and you didn't talk plenty of times. Oh man, why would you set up a trailer like that? That's stupid. How
Yes.
many times over the years since you've been pulling this trailer? Well, when did you do this?
I did this exactly, I did it in 2018. Because I had pulled the trailer for just about 3 years the way that it was with the 310s. I said I was going to give it a chance because, you know, I didn't want to alter it since it was like that from the factory. I said, let me try it. And I was running at that point, I was running a little bit of Connecticut. I was running a lot of New York City and a little bit of Long Island at the time, consistently. With, I guess, pretty decent covered wagon loads in there, to say it.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed the first year. I said, all right. When I say disappointed, not in the trailer. Not in the trailer at all. I was tickled to death with the trailer. I was disappointed because when I first bought the trailer, it had a set of recaps on it. I put a brand new set of Bridgestones on there.
Mm-hmm.
And running around, like I said, in those zones, in 12 and a half, 13 months, them Bridgestones were gone.
Really?
Shaved them all the way down.
Shaved them?
Like I had a grinding wheel on them. Perfectly smooth across, but all 8 of them were gone. I said, well, mind you, the trailer that I was pulling before this was set up this way.
Right. Tandem with a lift.
Yeah, Fontaine that I had.
Or tandem with a pusher.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, I'm going to give the spread a try. It does have Hendrickson 300 suspension under there.
Mm-hmm.
I did put a great working dump valve on the back. And, I was working the fool out of it. It dumped good. The axle would carry it. It wasn't enough. So that was the first year. Took a set of Bridgestones out. I put another set on there.
Mm-hmm.
Second go around, I figured, well, I'm running a little different area. Maybe they'll last a little longer. I think I might have got 14 months out of them. I said, okay, this ain't going to work. Put another set on. Halfway through that second set of Bridgestones, like I said, now I'm into like 2.5 years.
Right.
I couldn't take it no more. I said, okay, I'm not wearing this set out. I got them down like 50%, and that's when I changed it to this setup.
And for the people that don't know, what is this?
This is what I call a Canadian tandem with a pusher axle. The reason why I call it a Canadian tandem is because instead of a closed tandem at 54 inches apart, this is a closed tandem at 60 inches apart.
60.
And this was an experiment that ended up turning into a fantastic situation by accident. Because I had a 54-inch tandem on my Fontaine before this, closed tandem. From the front axle to the lift axle on the Fontaine, which was a setup same as this, 3 axles, it was an 11-foot spread.
Okay.
Okay? That was okay back there, but that 11-foot between here and there, no good. I constantly got hung up at places where I would go over a hump. It was trying to lift the tractor off the ground. That didn't work.
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got stuck at a couple places bad. Trying to go out of some place with a load on and this axle here would hit the hump. It would pick the drives up off the ground and have me spinning and I couldn't get out. So I said, okay, if I ever do this again, got to change the setup. So with this being 310s, I said, well, I got to get away from the spread. I can't take the tire wear. That was costing me another, at that point, $35, $38, almost $4,000 in a year's time. So you figure every time you renew your tags, you got that expense. And in 2 minutes, you got another $4,000 for tires on the trip.
Tires every year.
Every year. And that, after 2.5 years, I said, no, it's not going to work. Not for where I'm running, for the money that didn't justify itself.
Right.
So like I said, after the second year, I said, all right, what am I going to do here? I wanted to duplicate the Fontaine that I had, but make it foolproof. Since everything was spread apart, I said, well, when I close this up, I can do it like I want it this time.
Yeah.
So, 10-foot spread back there, took the back axle, moved it forward 2.5 foot, took the front axle, moved it back 2.5 foot. That left me to 60.
Yep.
Okay? That closed that up enough to take my tire wear down and still be able to get in between the axles to do maintenance.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted there. This one here, moved this one back, closed it all the way up. Instead of being up here at 11 foot between here and the first axle, I brought this back to 9. Now, under the same situation, if I go over that same hump now that I used to get hung up before with the 11, this one will still hit the ground, but it'll roll over and it won't lift the tractor.
It won't lift the tractor up.
If anything, it'll
put everything back here.
You got it. It'll try. All right. Accidentally stumbled on to, as far as I'm concerned, the perfect setup.
Yeah.
Tire wear went all the way back down to nothing.
So now, what's the lifespan that you get out of these tires?
Now I went from 12, 13, 14 months. Now I get 38, 40, 42 months now.
Really?
Yes. 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 Yeah. Like I used to get back in the day. I had no problem getting 3, 4, 5 years out of a set of trailer tires, and that's what I'm back to now.
Wow.
Now,
All just from changing the axle configuration.
and when you do that, add that up. Take that 3,500, 4,000, take that off per year, and that's the money you're keeping in your pocket
Yep.
every year.
It adds up. It adds up.
So again, like you said when you first asked about this, well, why would you do that? Dollars and cents for me.
Wow.
Dollars and cents, not to mention the fact that when I would try to shove this thing into some of them tight holes with that spread,
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's ugly.
okay.
Oh, it's ugly.
Any of you guys out there jacking spreads into some place, if you do it, you know what happens.
You need to wear safety goggles to be around that thing when you backing it up.
That's no lie. That's no lie. You really do. I mean, you look back there and you just say, oh my God, I don't know if it's going to make it today. I don't know. This may be the last day for this, man. Because it's ugly back there. All that disappeared with this. All of it. All of it. Like I said, I stumbled on to a perfect setup. 60-inch closed tandem, 9-foot spread on the lift, and it is perfect. It rides perfect. It backs in perfect. It doesn't wear the tires. I couldn't ask for a better setup.
Wow.
Nothing. If I was to order a new trailer, it would be just like this.
The exact same way.
Same way. I wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up onto that dumb setup.
And you said this thing has 300 suspension?
HT 300 Hendrickson, which is the old school before they came out with N-Tracks. And it does jobs that I question it sometime when I finally get the load off and say, baby, I don't even know what in the world you had no business even carrying that. That's how good a job it does.
Now, before we finish off this video, let me just go ahead and ask you that.
Okay.
What was your most memorable load that you hauled with this trailer?
Legally.
To date, I would have to say probably a load of 55-foot steel tubing that wasn't really crazy, but when you think about the fact that this is a 45-footer and the fact that I had a little bit over 10-foot overhang
Out the back of the trailer?
out the back of the trailer, that was probably my most rewarding load with this trailer, only because it was one of them ones where they said it couldn't be done.
And you just had to do it.
I had to do it. I had to prove a point. I had to let them know that the guy I was working for at the time, who me and you both know, I was hauling steel tubing for him. And it wasn't long after I got this trailer, he had told me, admittedly so, he said, look, if you come work for me, you got to have a minimum of a 48-footer. I would prefer something a little longer if you could find it, but 48 is the absolute minimum. Meanwhile, I found a deal on not one, but two of these East combos that I liked, and I bought them. I get ready to sign on with the guy. He has a conniption fit. Man, what the hell are you doing? Come in here with this, man. I told you I need at least 48. I said, look, I promise you I'll be able to do every load that you throw at me as long as I have this trailer. I said, the day I got to turn a load down is the day I'll go take this trailer and trade it in. All right, he says, all right, I told you so. So it was probably not even a year in. And he came out with a load. He said, now you see, if that was a 48-footer, them 55s, they would have been still sticking out the back, but nowhere near like they are. I said, I tell you what. I said, I'll make a deal with you. If I can get this load there, no phone calls, no nothing. I said, you don't say another word to me about my 45-footer the whole time I work here. He said, you got a deal. So I put that steel tubing on there.
Open the whole kit.
Opened the whole kit, put it on there. I pulled the tarp That steel tubing, I couldn't even put the back flap down. It was sitting on top of the tubing. The tubing was 4 foot high, just as high as the boards. And I went just below Chesapeake, Virginia with that load. At the time, I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it or not.
But you had to do it. You had a point to prove.
I had a point to prove. Yeah, I had a point to prove. Yeah. So
And you got the load off safely.
sure did. Sure did. Much to the surprise of everybody that worked in the building down there too, because they couldn't believe it either. But yeah, I got it off.
Wow.
Got it off. 55 footers on a 45-foot trailer.
Wow.
So like I said, that was about 11-foot overhang. So that was the most rewarding. There have been some other good ones, but that's the best one for this channel,
Wow.
I'd have to say. That's the best one
Danny.
for right now.
Thank you so much.
And you
Taking
can thank
time out of
you.
your busy day.
No problem, man.
And I appreciate you for being the first interview.
Absolutely. Not, you don't know how much of a pleasure it is for me. You don't even know. I'm looking forward to being back on here and supporting the channel, man, and supporting everything you guys are doing. So keep up the good work, man.
I had to share Danny Smith.
Hey, man.
I had to.
Glad to be shared, man. I'm here for the sharing whenever you guys want to swing back through, and we'll pick up right where we left off.
Absolutely.
All right.
For you guys out there, make sure you like, comment, share, support us however you can. We surely do appreciate everything that you guys do for us, and we will see you guys next time.